didn't come before, what makes you think he'll come now?
Oh, he'll come.
Hello, everybody. Today we're going to talk about Reminiscence, the brand new action, semi-futuristic noir movie starring Hugh Jackman, Rebecca Ferguson, Thandie Newton, and bits and pieces of Cliff Curtis. Those guys. This movie. If you watched the trailer some time ago and you thought, what is this movie about? It looks like a artsy noir piece. You would be right. If I were to give you, not a summary, but how can I word this? If I were to compare this movie in bits and pieces to another movie, it has the... This might sound weird. It has the bits and pieces of Inception in there, and a good deal of Blade Runner. And if you're a video game guy, it also, with all of the water and like looking at these buildings and skyscrapers and businesses submerged in water like that really makes you think of BioShock 2. Not BioShock 2, but BioShock as well. If you guys know what I'm talking about, it has a bit of that feel to it too. Which I believe, if you look at pros and cons, I think that's one of, if not the biggest pro in this movie, is that I think the setting in this movie is beautiful. Cause if I'm a big water guy, you know, there's a no pun intended, a sea of us out here who we're just really into water in movies and games and things like that. And this movie does water beautifully. It's the levees broke, and the water wasn't. You know how the levees broke in real life. The levees broke in this world, but they weren't contained in any meaningful capacity. So, like, most of the city is like drowned in water. There are very few places where you're even able to drive, and most of the time you have to take a boat to get anywhere in the city. And I love that aspect of it. Granted, it's a small piece of the movie. It's not what the movie is about. I kind of wish they would have delved into that more, because I really like that aspect of it. I really want to know how this movie was shot. I'm really interested in how they shot this movie, because it looks really nice, especially with the whole aspect of traversal. But that's not what this movie is about. A quick summary of the movie before I get into what I don't like, because there are some things that I don't like about this movie. The movie stars Hugh Jackman, right? You know Hugh Jackman. I don't even know why I did the finger snap thing. You know Hugh Jackman. He plays the role of, it's like Nick. I want to say his name was Nick. Was his name Nick? I'm just going to call him Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman makes sense. No, I'm going to call him Nick. Nick sounds right. Nick Bannister. That's his name. His name is Nick Bannister in the movie. Nick Bannister, former army guy, comes home, runs this shady underground business where he has this sensory deprivation tank that allows you to not only relive specific memories, but you can physically interact with those memories. Like, you can see yourself inside of the memory as a physical being and relive it. And you know, people use it for things like reliving moments that they had that are precious to them, like time they had with their babies, or one guy who was a former army buddy of Nick lost his legs in the war, so he wanted to remember a time when he still had his legs, and he was like playing with his dog and stuff like that. You know, things that people would actually use this device for in real life. They show bits and pieces of that, and then the movie gets into this actual plot. I think those introductory scenes just to show you the power of the machine, because the machine is used a lot in this movie. It is the calling card of this movie. It's used a lot, as it should be, because I kind of like the do-rag strings in the, which it should be, because I think that aspect of it was pretty interesting. The movie, like I said, is a noir movie, so expect a slow build. And this movie has a slow fucking build. Ooh, I'm not gonna lie to you. We might be seeping into the cons of now. Spoiler alert, if you want to watch this movie. I don't know why I don't put spoiler alerts. I put spoiler alerts in the thumbnails really small like that. But I don't say it in the video. This is a spoiler alert. I think this movie, to me, didn't get interesting until like 45 minutes in. I'm not saying I was bored, but I'm saying I was on the cusp of boredom for like almost half of this movie. But to me, when it actually started hitting its stride, it hit its stride. Question is, did it hit its stride too late? I think it might have. I think it might have hit its stride a little bit too late. Also, if we're still on the subject of cons, this movie, I don't want to use the word pretentious, because I feel like that's a give-all type word. You can call anything with big words pretentious. But this movie really likes to wax poetic, if you catch my drift. It gets really flowy with the dialogue to like, it's pretty wordage, right? The diction in this movie is pretty. People talk flowly, very pretty when they talk to each other with these deep philosophical things that people don't say to each other. This is a movie that feels like people are talking as actors. Granted, people are acting well in the movie. The movie has good performances. I think Danny Newton did fine. Hugh Jackman did fine. Rebecca Ferguson did fine. Everybody whose job was to act, I believe, acted well. But the dialogue is kind of ass. The dialogue kind of feels like you're watching a live action anime, but not in a way they're like, oh, but like, I don't know how to complain. Not like Cowboy Bebop type dialogue, but this feels realistic to a degree. It feels like other 90s anime type dialogue where people are talking very cryptically in their voice like this, because the past makes up the future, and we are the future. But if we aren't, we're never the future. We're really ghosts who are living in the past because we died. Not just our death, ghost type apparitions who are inhabiting the future as we know it today as people who are dead in the past, future. And there's a lot of that shit where it's like, nobody really talks like this. This is very annoying. That's very annoying, but it's annoying enough to be like, I'm not feeling this. And the movie was like, oh, you're not feeling that? We're going to do that shit the rest of the movie. So I hope you are strapped in and you got your thesaurus and dictionary with you right now. The plot, if you guys must know, Nick Bannister, Hugh Jackman, meets up with, does a job for Rebecca Ferguson, who played the character of May, who she loses her keys. Very innocuous. She lost her keys and she wants to use a machine to help her find her keys because she's locked out of her apartment. And he helps her find the keys. He keeps watching. He hears her. He goes to her memory and hears her singing this song from her childhood. And he falls in love with her for no reason, because he falls in love with her because she sings well. Right? That's it. He falls in love with her because she sings well. And one day, out of nowhere, everything is going fine. But this is a movie about romance. A movie about letting go of the past. A movie about a noir movie. So you know something's going to happen to her. And she just, boom, disappears out of nowhere. So the mystery is we have to find out what happened to her. What happened to May. Right now, I'm deciding if I should tell you what happens. But you know, I don't think I will. Watch the movie. You decide for yourself if you're interested enough in the plot. Do you want to know what happened to Hugh Jackman and the woman who he loves because she sings nice? There's a lot of twists and turns. Some you may see coming. Some you will see coming. And some you're going to be like, huh. I don't know if I didn't see that coming or I just didn't care. Who knows? I really want to get into the plot. Maybe I'll do a section where I go, oh, spoiler alert, turn from... But I don't know. Maybe. I'm thinking about it right now. Fuck it. Wanna spoil it? Let's spoil it. You find out that it was actually a long con from his from his future woman-to-be, May. It was a con. Turns out she was enlisted to steal memories from... He was enlisted to steal memories from a character who you met earlier. There's a character named, I believe, Elsa, who you find out had an affair with this high-ranking government official named Sullivan. I don't even feel like putting his face on the screen, so I probably won't. I didn't do the snap thing. And you find out that he's had a secret affair and he's having a baby with her, and his actual son is next in line to inherit his fortune when he dies. So his son wants to kill the actual son wants to kill the illegitimate son so he doesn't have to share the fortune. You find out in this woman's past memory that you seen earlier that it's clues to help you figure that out. Whatever. May's job was to find a way to have Nick fall head over heels for her so she can steal the memory. However, she ends up having a change of heart. And instead of turning over the boy like she was supposed to, she saves him and kills herself so they won't find the location of the boy. And it's cool, but by that point you kind of like... I was invested in this movie around this point, but I was also in the like, okay, this is cool. I'm ready to go now, though. I was ready to leave the movie by this point, despite me kind of sort of enjoying myself. However, despite all the flaws of this movie, the dialogue, the story gets kind of convoluted in pieces and places. There's this one part in the movie that I did enjoy. If anybody who knows me and have seen my previous videos, you guys know that I am a sucker for love confessions in movies. And this movie has a pretty good love confession from May to Hugh Jackman's character of Nick Bannister. There's a scene where she's talking to the guy who's going to kill her right for not turning over the boy. It's hard to explain if you're not watching a movie. So she tells the would-be killer, the guy who hired her, that she's like, I love you, and she does this whole I love you, and I'm sorry we couldn't be together. And he's like, huh? Why are you telling me this? But she knows that she's actually saying this to Nick because she believes that Nick will eventually see this memory and know that this is a confession to him. And that whole scene, I'm like, this is good. This is cinema. I enjoy this. I would really, really enjoy it if I cared about this movie more. I don't. I enjoy pieces of it. I like the scenery. I like the water. The music is good. I think the performances are fine. The story just didn't move me. I think the slow burn was a little bit too slow. And that's what this boils down to. This slow burn went from like, it was striking the match for 20 minutes, fumes for 30 minutes. You didn't see an actual spark of fire until like halfway through the movie. Oh. But I will say this. People online are going to tell you that this movie is bad. It's not bad. It's more so, it's not bad. It's just almost good. Right? So, we got to get to a rating. What am I going to rate this movie? Well, as usual, you guys know I do a star rating system. I'm going to concretely say now, I might have to do a video that's like separate from my other videos. The star system, I'm going to lock the star system to 5 stars. 5. Not 4, because I don't want too many movies that have similar ratings that aren't equal. Suicide Squad, 3.5. I gave Free Guys a 3, but looking back on it, after watching this movie, I actually want to raise Free Guys to a 3.5 as well. So I might do a thing where I edit it and put 3.5 on that and 3.5 on Suicide Squad. This movie, I want to give a 3. I want to give a 3. I'm really close to giving this movie a 3. It's more of a 2.9 though. But I don't do 2.9s. So this movie, citizens of the Seance Does Geek channel, this movie is a why isn't it working? Is it over? Oh. This movie is a 2.5 out of 5. This movie is almost good. Not quite. Good performances. I think I just didn't care enough. Or maybe I'm an idiot and noir movies don't hit me as much. Or maybe I just watched too much Blade Runner and Cowboy Bebop and now I expect every noir type thing to be that. Nonetheless, I do think there is enjoyment to be had in this movie. Just not enough. Thank you guys for watching. I love you. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to. Subscribe if you want to. Definitely like and comment. Definitely comment. I want to talk to some of you guys. I want somebody to convince me this movie is a 3. Because I like bits and pieces of this movie. I want it to be a 3. It just, right? I just don't care. You all have a blessed day. Blessed, and I don't mean any particular religion. Just blessed as I hope you have a day that is meaningful and good for you. Right? Have a good fucking day. It's like 2 a.m. here in Chicago, and as usual, it's hot as fuck. I'm gonna edit this video, and I won't be done editing this video probably because of dumbass SpongeBob edits until 3 o'clock in the morning. Nonetheless, we are approaching 20 minutes. And I guess I'm going to stall for the 20 minutes. And I bet I'm going to exit out exactly when 20 minutes hit. Even if it cuts me off in the middle of my sentence, that's probably what I'm going to do. Boom.